Yeah, when the Spartans said they rubbed themselves full of with oil before their final fight, that was a lie too. They were hoping that those people would, of course, because they knew about their trade network. So obvious. Why would it be so good to follow this guy, right? The last one that survived or whatever, and try to become as tough as them. So you don't wanna think that any of it was good to follow or was real. All of it was a trap. All of it was a trap. Knowing that they would come back. So rubbing oil. So somebody probably rubbed oil on himself and was dumb somewhere else. Somebody in their part of their culture, people, the good people that they had traded with, the good people that didn't want it to happen somewhere else. They knew it was out there somewhere. And you don't want anything, you don't want assassins and stuff like that, of course. But wow. At that point, he probably did. He probably did. Because there was like one person he couldn't reach. So, oil. Why would you not want to rub oil all over yourself in Vietnam? Well, why would you not want to do that to yourself? Why would you not want to? Okay, so here's a very good example of what goes on with a human being. And everywhere else, they think that it's actually something else. But here's a good example of waking people up. So in Vietnam, it shows a person that could have been trying to get people underneath them to get people off of eating other people. What's below Vietnam? Is it trying to get people off of other people? Is it saying, help, help me, help me, help me, help me, help? But it's actually not coming from South Vietnam. It's coming from South America. Well, we've got that all messed up. The animals were in our heads, and we're concerned about people being too social with these other ones. All over the place. And they were asking for our help. Maybe, it was actually the next baby born in Vietnam did the whole thing. The whole thing is their fault. And they're grateful, and they're fed, and they let it go. And the same thing is true for every American or French person. Maybe that's true. And the victor, maybe it's raw fish. The victor is raw fish. The colonies won. Now, please help, as an Omega, get these people to wake up. Jesus used to do things like pray, send messages in these golems. As somebody who woke up to, whoa, these people aren't aware of where their thoughts are coming from. And they're trying to catch them up, to goal them, to get them to go the other side. So, how is he different? Well, he survived out in the desert by some miracle. Probably woke up to a non-human influence trying to save him. And that would go for a lot of other wise leaders and teachers. And so, and then when you go to the more intelligent food, you want to make sure that all the alphas are protected and safe. Makes sense? It's because what would have made other people sick, he could have been, would have been, should have been, of course he was. He was on the path of cleaner, not sick. Cleaner, not sick. Because he fasted in the desert. And the animals woke him up. Because he knows how to eat bread. Because of all these other reasons. that somebody else who had money, it would have potentially, what would have made him sick would have, this other person would have enlarged their liver or whatever. They were drinking, they were eating, they were not following the pentagram, which was ensuring that the food that they were trading was a virgin until they get married, and that that they would be true with their wife and stuff like that. And so this would anger people, and that was the reason that people on the cross could be stabbed in the liver. And he wasn't actually stabbed like that, as far as I know. He wasn't actually stabbed like that, but it appeared that it was him. Because, okay, so when he fell on the cross is probably, when he was carrying the cross and fell, was when they swapped it. Because he was a spotted man. And from far away, it looked like he was somebody else. And that was the last person ever for it to happen to. And it was all possibly a magic show. This is actually something else, not a person. This is actually going between his fingers. This is actually, well, he has more time over here. And then his follower is going to pretend to kill himself over here. While these people are trying to be forgiven and not hammered onto crosses. Because of not following the commandments. Because of, it's not really that as much as the heavenly father and mother's way of getting married and trading food, to make sure that it's safe to trade food with other cultures. So, in no way do you want to be justifying other people in another country to come and do whatever they want or feel justified in taking this one from somewhere else. So it's important to wake people up to what's actually going on, the non-human influence there, and how strong it is. And, let's see, 2 days ago, it felt like somebody was warning me that they should have somebody doing this for like a Chinese website with videos and stuff like that, to let them know, and so that they're not fighting, or that they're not planning on fighting, because they are planning. They're preparing for war right now, just in case, just to be safe. And that this was coming from the Asian language when I come across it, the timing of them. Well, it'll guide my thoughts into asking me to share this with more faith over there. So, I need layers to protect myself, and I definitely don't want people to get the wrong idea and it to be seen by too many illegals and guilty people. So, is there any volunteers out there that would be willing to do this for me, like any other teachers? That would be wonderful. So what happens is they might eat whatever food that they want, and then below them in South America, they're trying to get them off eating other people. And we still don't understand mass spending time and how much it affects how much we're getting connected with other people in different places or whatever. And these people were related to them. They were related to them, potentially. So they're like totally different, like living like a Tibetan monk or whatever. But then they have this person they're potentially related to below them. Don't eat this person. Oh, this person was given a date rape drug. Somebody went, took away their memory. It was found below them. So you don't want to do anything like hurt yourself or anybody else, especially as any kind of demonstration. And in the minds of other people, it could still point to the same thing. You needed our assistance. Somewhere. And in North America, they could be confused. Because they weren't looking. They were looking that way instead of that way. Am I making sense? Oops.